What's going on, everybody? Cable Guy Ken with you. Gonna do a review here. I thought I had just done a review, and I got up and checked my camera and it was off, so we're gonna try this again. I know I had promised this review a good while back. Just everything that happened, everything that's been going on, I'm just getting to it. The Habilis Bushtool, of course, it didn't come with the lanyard. A friend of mine put the lanyard on. I will be showing you the sheath options that he made for me here in the video coming up. But the sheath, of course, is made by JRE, and you can tell because it's got the compass markings on the back of it. That's their little JRE logo. It is made to where you can take this off. It's just a screw rivet. You can undo that screw and take this off, or you can leave it on if you want to, if it doesn't bother you. I find for me, I like to take it off if I'm going to wear it in a scout carry like that. It does have a loop for your ferro rod. It does fit the standard Army ferro rod, like so. And this one is well worn, and it's still in there pretty snug. Most of the ferro rods that I'm going to put on a sheath like this, I take the regular cord off, and I've got these little bungee cords that you can buy in the women's section. They're about that big around, about the size of a large band, large rubber band rather, but they're made for women to put their hair up. And what I do is take the little clip off, and if you put a screwdriver under this clip opens up, and then I cut the bungee cord, put it through my ferro rod and my striker if I need to, and put the ends of the bungee cord back in this clip and squeeze it down, and you know, all together it'll be about that long. That way when you put it in your knife, you've got a bungee cord that you can stretch down over the end down here like so, and it'll keep it real nice and secure. Just a little tip to throw to you. I might do a little video on that. Don't think I need to. Y'all are pretty smart people. Y'all are pretty fart smellers. But let's get into some of the features of the Habilis Bushtool. One of the reasons I bought it, and one of the reasons I buy a lot of stuff from a lot of people, is just to support the people that I'm buying from. Steve, Andy, Penny, Eric, all those guys. I don't think Eric actually works for them. I think Eric just works with them, I guess. But Andy and Steve and Penny are the main honchos and honchettes. They're super, super great people, and if you've been to a gathering and hung out with them any at all, you probably gained 30 or 40 pounds because they feed you like there's no tomorrow. I mean, good Lord, those people can cook some food. Now, I'm talking all campfire cooking, stuff you'd never dream of. But that's the main reason that I wanted to buy the knife, was to support them. Not that I didn't think it wasn't a good knife, because it is. A lot of the features that they instilled in this knife when making it was you've got this curved design here, and if you're in the woods cooking, I'm being careful, y'all, you can rock this knife and do some fine dicing. If you're doing car camping like I do a lot of the time, you can use this on a cutting board and really get in there and dice up your food. So it's got a good shape to it for rocking. It works really good at scraping. You can really hold on to it like this, and if you wanted to scrape a hide, that curved shape, of course you want to make sure you don't slice. You want to make sure you just keep rocking like this, just using your wrist to flip it, and it'll really get in there and remove the inside of the flesh, all the little fat and deposits and all. You've got a notch on the back here that works great with a ferro rod, and one of the reasons why it works so great, when you take a standard ferro rod, the striker that comes with it, or even the back edge of a knife, when you put it down, take some time and look at how much contact you're making. I'm going to do this one real quick. Alright, now I'm going to show you this little spot right here is where I just struck it with the standard striker that comes with it. And it gave a pretty good bit of sparks. Just make sure I'm still on here. Alright. Now with the Habilis Bushtool, that little notch, not only is it great for stripping the bark off of plants, you can get in here, now this is dry, dead dry stuff, but you can get in here and do this number and strip the bark down, do stuff like that. But it fits a ferro rod pretty good, and if you put it on there and tilt it back and go to, now here's the spot that I just did with the striker. Now right there. When you put it on your knife, you're getting this huge shower of sparks. And the reason being is because I'm making contact here, here, and here, and here. Because it's wrapping around that blade, and when you tilt it back, you're just eating some of that ferro rod material off. So you can get a good huge shower of sparks, especially if you're using a mesh metal rod. You'll just get a ball of sunshine. I mean, just a huge gob of spark. The other thing they've got here is when you're batoning, which is, I used this a couple of weekends ago. We had a bonfire for the kids at the church, and I used this for splitting all the wood down. And we're talking, you know, chunks of pine like that. I barely had any blades sticking out, just enough to just get on the edge of it and split the wood down flawlessly. But they've also got those little knots right here, those little divot, which makes it great for hitting with your baton. It also makes it a pretty useful tool if you need to put it across your leg right here and do any kind of draw cuts, which actually, I've never been good at it. I've seen people do it like this and draw it back, but then you're drawing inside the triangle of death and you run the risk of hurting yourself. And I've seen people do it like this, and I mean, it works. But it just seems to me like this is more work than, I mean, maybe I need a class on how to cut this way, because it seems to me like doing it like this, especially if you're just wanting to just shave down the outside of something, or doing it like this, and I'm just trying to remove the high spots here. I'm not trying to clean it up. But this seems to me to be a little bit easier to do. I mean, I don't know. We all have our little things that we like to do, and we like to do them a certain way because it's just what we like. It's not that it's right or wrong. You know, I'm not trying to sell Kool-Aid to anybody here. I'm just saying I do things the way I do them for a particular reason, and sometimes I don't really have a reason other than it's just how I like to do it. One of the other things they put into this knife was they've got a divot in the side of these handles. Now, these handles are G10. This is the tiger pattern, but they're G10. They're really hard, and you can see the divot is perfect for the top of a decent sized spindle. So I'm going to put a clean edge on this just to make sure. Another thing about this little divot here is it allows you to use a larger knife with a little bit of finesse, because your finger just sits right in the middle of that little divot. And where normally most people would use the back edge of the knife here, it allows you to use that point with a great deal of control. I mean, you can take just little paper thin shavings off of something with this thing, just like that. And we'll just go ahead and get that cleaned up a little bit more there. Now, assuming that my spindle is still good, and I'm going to assume that it is, I've got a spot here on a board already. Now, I'm not going to put it in the sheath for two reasons. Obviously, if I put it in the sheath, then it's a lot safer for me to use to start a fire with a bow drill, because I've got all this leather protecting your hand. But I don't want to have to take my sheath off every time I go to start a fire if I have to start a fire with a bow drill. So I'm going to use it out of the sheath. Now, I will be holding it. I'm going to tuck that lanyard behind it so I don't have to worry about it getting in the way. But I'm going to hold it like this so that the blade is away from me and it's away from anybody, you know, that would be close to me. Nobody's going to be in this area because this is the area that the bow's going to be working. If you were to hold it this way, well, now you're just stupid, because now you're holding a sharp edge towards your body, and if you slip, something goes, you have a chance of cutting either leg, your femoral arteries, what have you. So let me get the camera resituated. Hopefully both of these pieces of wood are still dry. I've had them outside for a while. Throw that to the side there. Pretty sure y'all can see me here. Set my knife down and go ahead and get my spindle spun up. Alrighty. Ah. It's a little bit tight, but we should be able to make it. Now, I don't have a leaf or anything down to catch a coal. I ain't trying to start a fire here. I just want to see if this works and what I need to change if it don't. Obviously, I need to make my divot a little bit bigger here. And we'll point this up just a little bit more. I'm using my all-time favorite #1 spindle here, which is Yucca. And to me, I guess that's cheating because Yucca works every time I've ever tried it. It's worked. I've never had a time that I couldn't get an ember if I was using a Yucca spindle. And like willow, or I found white pine works good. Cottonwood works fabulously. Cottonwood is like my unobtainable gold because we don't have any around here. None that I found anyway. Alright. You can see I'm keeping my hand far away from that edge. It definitely burned a little bit. Feel it getting a little hot on my finger while it's drilling that groove out just a little bit, and on the top of the spindle there. So like with anything, you're gonna need, tell you what, if I didn't have my multi-tool, I'd be relying on this to do my notching and all. So why don't I do my notch make sure I'm doing this on camera for y'all, huh? I was getting ready to whip out the old multi-tool and carve a notch out, but I said, you know, I mean, why not treat this as a one-tool option? Clean that up just a tad. Now I will put down a leaf, because all the smoke in the world don't mean you got a coal. Get my little alrighty. It's not that hard to hold. You do feel a little bit of heat. You've got to position your fingers away from the divot. And again, doing it in the sheath would be a lot easier to do that, but I want to see if I can do it without the sheath. And we kicked out, but that was the board's fault, not the knife's fault. There's not really any damage. What you're seeing inside the knife itself is from the yucca spindle marrying with it, and there's some yucca crud or whatever inside there, but the hole itself is okay. And I don't know if y'all can see that. Come on. Break free. Here we go. I don't know if that counts as a coal in y'all's neck of the woods, but, you know, That's what I call a coal. I can get a fire going with that. Fellas, on the Habilis Bushtool, I'll post a link down here as usual for the website you can get these from. Contact Steve or Penny or Andy, either one. There's a few things about the knife that I didn't mention. That it's all about personal preference and how you use the knife. I don't pay attention when I'm pulling it out. I just pull it out. But one of the things that you want to do is push this clasp out the way. If you could put some kind of a spring on here or something, like maybe a piece of Kydex right here, just real thin Kydex or plastic from one snap to the other, because it is snapped on both sides. That way you can use it as a right or left hand carry. But if there's a little piece of plastic in here to stiffen this up, then you could undo the snap and it would stay snapped open, kind of like Hedgehog Leatherworks does, but they've got a little bit different deal. I think they have something attached to there so that when you snap it, it pulls back. But if not, if you just open it up, you can see that the blade is going to contact that, and little by little you're going to cut through this leather strap. So it's one of those things where when it's on your hip, like so, you need to make sure that when you open it, you push that snap down out of the way before you draw it. And when you're going to put it back up, make sure it's out of the way, or you will cut through that snap. Again, that's just a minor thing. It's not a problem. You can see I've nicked mine a little bit here and there, but not enough to cause any fatigue in the leather itself. Of course, the knife does have decent retention without the snap on. I wouldn't want to bounce too much, because eventually it is going to let go and it is going to fall out. But it does have good retention even without the snap on it. Said it does have your straps for your scout carry, so you can carry it like that. I'd usually wear it just like that, upside down on the small of my back, so that I can grab the knife like so. That way I can pull it out in one movement and it'd be in the correct position that I'd need it. It does have your fire steel loop on the bottom, on the side rather, and if it weren't for the fire steel loop, you could take this off, turn it over so that you could carry it left hand carry in the scout style. But the fire steel loop gets in the way of putting this on the other side or from carrying it like this. Now I don't see why you couldn't run a belt through here just as easy. I said the main thing is just unscrew that one screw and take this off. Then you can run your belt through this way and carry it that way. Some people like to carry it upside down. Said I prefer to carry it like that. So that's it in a nutshell, y'all. It's been beat on, it's been abused, and it's still showing some love. Habilis Bushtool, Habilis.com, I believe it is. I'll put the link down here in the bottom. It does everything the company says it does, and it is 100% American made. When I was talking with Steven, he said as far as he knows, even to the rivets that he's ordering are all made in the USA. So it's 100% USA made from 100% United States made materials. And you'll be supporting just an absolute great family of people that put out a really good quality knife. Appreciate you watching, appreciate your views and your support. Keep the comments coming. Let me know what you're looking for. I've got the Blind Horse Outdoors machete, Pure Hydration, canteen shop knife, and a few surprises coming from a friend of mine that I've just met, an acquaintance that I've just been introduced to. So look forward to videos. We'll catch you in the next one.